So Trista, the next question will go to you, and it has to do with candidate preparedness and getting caught up to speed. What experience do you have in giving policy direction to a chief executive officer, in evaluating the performance of a chief executive officer, or of making decisions about multi-million-dollar budgets, staffing, capital improvements, labor contracts, educational policy, food service, and all the other issues that face a school district of more than 60,000 people? If you don't have as much experience in that area as you think you'll need, how will you quickly get caught up to speed? Thank you, Trista.
Thank you, Cecilia. It's a very intricate question, and I'll do my best to address all of it. I've worked for the city of Woodland for the past 14 years. Though different in focus, the city and district have similar structures. In my current position as the chief executive assistant, I'm present for many budget and policy conversations. And though I do not directly oversee the budget, I do refer to it often and utilize budget coding and monitoring pertinent budget sub-accounts. Part of my job is to refer to and understand several association memorandums of understanding, as well as salary schedules and job descriptions. I am also recently a part of my association's negotiation team and working with the city. As the volunteer coordinator, I oversaw 60 volunteers, and I was responsible for ensuring that they were following performance expectations and also had the things they needed to do their assigned tasks. I've created several youth and community programs to include their budgets and need assessments. As coordinator for Donner My Music Camp, I've helped to create and oversee a $100,000 annual budget. I'm also responsible for registration and payments. I create and issue staff and counselor contracts, and I handle the food services contract as well. Donner My Music Camp serves over 200 students in a 2-week period every summer. I'm currently working on my bachelor's degree in human resource management as well. And though I have a basic understanding, I would like to learn more about the Woodland School District's finances and internal structure in order to make informed decisions as a trustee. Thank you.
Thank you, Trista. Okay, next we will go to Jake. Jake, let me read the question to you. What experience do you have in giving policy direction to a chief executive officer, in evaluating the performance of a chief executive officer, or of making decisions about multi-million-dollar budgets, staffing, capital improvements, labor contracts, educational policy, food service, and all the other issues that face a school district of more than 60,000 people? If you don't have as much experience as you think you'll need, how will you quickly get caught up to speed? Thank you, Jake.
Well, I've had a year and 8 months of some really great on-the-job training, serving as a member of the school district Board of Education. And I think that, one of the things that's most important is how effective are you at navigating your way through systems of control and through a bureaucracy? Because at the end of the day, that's what we are the managers of a massive bureaucracy. I think that, as much as we try to, we learn and we grow in these positions, and nobody who gets elected to these boards, unless you're electing a former superintendent who has worked in every single department, is going to be a subject matter expert on absolutely everything that's going to come before the board. And so I think that there's a certain amount of importance on, one, doing your homework and making sure that you are looking at the information that's presented to you, making sure that you are, considering opposing viewpoints, weighing the pros and the cons, and also asking yourself, do these decisions align with my moral compass and my values? Because that ultimately, I think, as long as you have a sound decision-making process, then you will come to conclusions that you can be confident in. And when you're making decisions that you're confident in, that's when you are an effective leader. And so that's kind of, a little bit about how I approach the job. Because, the question is very spot on. It's a very intricate, very complex thing that we're managing. And it's important too, I think, to draw upon the expertise of your colleagues when you have that opportunity, as long as you're compliant with the Brown Act. and not talking to too many of them on one particular subject. And
Thank
yeah,
you,
so
Jake.
that's just, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Kandice. Kandice, I will read the question to you. Give me 1 second here. I need to pull it up again. Okay. What experience do you have in giving policy? Can you hear me, Kandice?
I can.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. What experience do you have in giving policy direction to a chief executive officer, in evaluating the performance of a chief executive officer, or of making decisions about multi-million-dollar budgets, staffing, capital improvements, labor contracts, educational policy, food service, and all the other issues that face a school district of more than 60,000 people? If you don't have as much experience as you think you'll need, how will you quickly get up to speed? Thank you, Kandice.
Okay, just had to set my phone timer so I don't go too long. So I was fortunate enough when I was a student at UC Davis to get elected to ASUCD. ASUCD, Associate Students of UC Davis, basically is the student government that oversees all of the different projects that are ASUCD, from the coffee house to the silo to the hiring of staff. I think our budget was several million, 100 million. I was a part of the ASUCD senators that passed the effect to get the ARC, as well as the Recruitment and Retention Center. Some of the other things that I've done is I've worked with the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. I was in their mental health unit, and I did a lot of policy work there. And that had an impact of all of the prisons that had mental health units, which were all of them in the state of California. Other things that I have worked on is as a nonprofit manager. I had to work with boards. Also, excuse me, as a nonprofit consultant, I had to work with boards on how they interacted and worked with their executives. While I have never been a school board member, I have enough qualities in my wheelhouse, enough experience that I am confident that I would be able to hit the ground running on day one. But I also have a diversity of experience where I'm bringing in several different viewpoints and can critically think out what's happening, where do we need to go, how does this benefit the schools? Like I said, I like data and metrics. I love a strategic plan, SWOTs, all of it. So yes, I'm ready, I'm prepared with various amounts of experience.
Thank you, Kandice.